Hey guys, welcome back to another YouTube video, and today I'll be mapping out gold to see the potential movements for the coming weeks. The strategy I'll be using will be supply and demand plus liquidity, and the first thing I'll do is mark the highs. And as you can see, that price made two equal highs, and I expect price to go up, take up liquidity, and then drop to the nearest demand. Now, before I continue, I will show you guys how to identify liquidity. This right here is liquidity because price has already tested the hidden demands. And as you can see, if we scale down to the weekly, we will find demand areas that have already been tested, making it not safe to make another re-entry there. And right there we can see that demand has already been tested and is not fresh. In such cases, price will most likely break these areas to create new lows or grab the liquidity. And as you can see on the left, that price has already grabbed the liquidity and went up. This is also known as stop loss hunting, but on the weekly time frame. This candlestick right here has closed below such area, and we will use the Fibbo to see how far a pullback can happen. I put the 100 where the candlestick broke market structure, and I put the 0 on the highest where market has been. Then I highlighted potential take profit zones. Mind you, this is the monthly time frame, so it might take a long while for price to reach these areas. Therefore, we need to scale down to find more sharper entries. So right now, I still have hope that price will push up till the 0 mark and grab the liquidity before dropping to look for the nearest demand zones, aka the 161 level or the 2618 level if price is really that aggressive. But since price is on the 0 level, we will focus our nearest take profit on the 100. Now that we have identified liquidity on the monthly time frame, we can start looking for supply and demand. So right now, this is our nearest demand, and there's a demand zone right close to where price is, which that is our demand zone. Now this demand zone is too big, so we need to scale down and find sharper entries. Okay, on the weekly we can see sharper demand zones, and on this middle demand zone there is liquidity. The reason I focus on the wick is because this wick right here tested this demand on the side, making this demand already tested and is a high risk entry buy zone. So when price reaches the zone, we must look for buy confirmation first before we enter. As you can see right here, price created a QM pattern which has already played out, and there is demand on the left. This demand has been tested, making this a liquidity zone. So this is a high risk buy zone, so before we buy in the zone, we'll wait for confirmation. Now, since we have identified liquidity there, we can expect price to drop till the nearest demand over there. This demand is sweet because it also has a QM pattern, so it's QM plus a demand zone. Maybe you can wait for a third confirmation like a bullish engulfing candlestick to appear. Looking at current price, we can see that price is at a demand zone. Depending on how price opens on Monday, we can expect price to create a new high, whereby we will scale down to look for buy setups and put a stop loss right below that box. But if price breaks this box, it has potential to drop. Before I carry on finding sharper demand, I want to show you guys that we are still inside demand zone. So inside this demand, we will look for sharper demand. And as you can see, that price already tested this demand, making this a liquidity zone. So we will carry on looking for clearer demands. Next, we notice this demand also has been tested, making this a potential liquidity zone. And as we follow market structure, we have finally identified demand inside of that big demand. So this is our potential buy zone. We can wait for price to reach this zone and wait for confirmation before we enter our buys. So price has potential to drop, then make a rise and take out this liquidity on top to go to the fresh supply over there. The same way we identify liquidity on demand, we've identified liquidity on supply. This is just supply that has already been tested and will no longer be fresh for any entries for sales. So we might wait for price to reach that demand before making an increase. So if we do get confirmation for the buys, the nearest take profit will be the supply area, the nearest fresh supply. If price does make an increase, that supply will be our take profit zone. And if that's our take profit zone, price has the potential to drop till that demand. If price breaks that supply, then price will then have potential to take out the liquidity on the equal highs on the left, then look for the demand zones that price will have created. So now we will have to wait and see how price will open on Monday. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.